Hello YouTube. Sunday night I'm gonna throw this video together before I call it a weekend, before I wrap things up. Just want to recap real quick on this. This is a 1970 Revell Monte Carlo. It's a great tooling. It's very nice detail. The grille and headlights are probably the weak part of the car, but the rest of it is so well done. It is scaled so proper. It's basically like a much nicer version of the Johnny Lightning, but it's much larger. It's scaled, to 1:64. Nicer wheels and tires, nicer stance, and just a great car. These are really tough to find, and I'm very thankful to get that today as a Roque. Also, just to recap, this 1970 Camaro from Ertl, American Muscle. Opening trunk, opening hood. Excellent car. I did get the mirror glued back in, so a little crooked, but that's straighter than the one on my blue one, which came from the factory. Way more crooked than that, so still looks really good. I love this tooling. This is my favorite 1970 Camaro in 1:64 scale. This is my favorite 1970 Monte Carlo in 1:64 scale. So Revell and Ertl, two awesome brands that you don't hear much or see much about those brands these days. But if you guys can find them, they're excellent cars to collect. Today at Walmart, I acquired some of the new Auto Japan. This is not, but I wanted to compare this casting from the last release with the new one, and then I did a bunch of color changes on the wheels. Like this one, for example, which is the one I got today from the new release, had black wheels, and I just can't do the black wheels anymore. They all come in black, and it's very boring, so I chromed this one. And it's a very subtle difference other than the yellow wheels and black wheels. It's just a reversal of the white and gray. So almost all the tampos are the same. It is very much like M2 is doing their Auto World impression with this one. They're so close, it's not even worth buying the new one. But, whatever. I'm a Datsun fanatic. I do need to get over the M2 Datsuns, though. At some point I will. I always tell myself I won't buy anymore. This is a car that I did. I think I might have shown this one. I just chromed the wheels and put some Advan tires on it, or Yokohama tires. And I think it made a world of difference because I think this car looks very appropriate now. I think it's a decent looking car. I don't like these 240Zs that come with the lowered base. I like the regular base. The stance I think is so much better. It's a little high, but the lowered stance it's just goofy. The wheels, it just doesn't look right to me at all. And when you add some color to the wheels on these cars, it really brings out the lines of the cars, and I think it gives them a much better look. So there's that one. The rest of these are new. This was something kind of different that I tried, where the first one that I did, I just went around the hub and it worked. It worked really well, so I just did all four of them that way, leaving the hubs black. And I think it made for a nice little look. It is definitely a little bit different, but I like the look. I think it looks good. And if I ever needed to, I could paint I could go silver on the hub if I ever needed to, or if I ever needed to, I could go back to black. I do think black is the authentic color. I just can't do it on every single one. And the cars are actually pretty nice. These are in my top 3 or 4 1/64 scale 240Z castings that have been done. There aren't many that are better. And as hard as I am on M2, I have said that since day one. But by adding color to the wheels, it really adds a lot, I think, to the casting. Here's one of the lowered bases that I was talking about. I mean, from the silhouette, I think it does look a little bit better. But look how goofy that is. It looks like an MG. The way the wheels sit so far inside the wheel well, it's just not okay. I don't know if that's even showing up, but it looks really bad. Unfortunate on this one too, because I really like this one. In fact, let me show you this. This is the one I got today. I switched out and put some green light Datsun wheels on it. And they need a little bit of touching up, but this one is blacked out. It's black on black on black. It was black on black on black. But I did the silver wheels, and I like the look better with the silver wheels. The green light tires are so much, like, you can just feel the quality difference when you roll this one. But what I'm thinking about doing is a seat swap. I'm thinking about taking these little red seats out of this one and tossing them into this one. But it is an M2. I don't want to go to too much trouble for a brand that I don't have a lot of respect for. Anyways, that's the black one. And then the last one is this. This is the same as the white and green one, but this one's just a little bit different. Same deco, just different colors. And these wheels are definitely different. These are the wheels I think I like the most of all of the Auto Japan wheels. And I wish that we would see more of these. Now, these particular wheels actually were molded in gray, but I did take the silver paint to them just to give them a little bit more pop, a little bit more shine. And I think it made for a decent look. It definitely looks better. But I like these wheels the most because I had a little chip in that one. But when you compare, let's say, these wheels here, when you compare the wheels from the car on the left to the car on the right, the one on the left, as you can clearly see, has more of a lip to it. It's more of a deeper dish wheel, which is far more accurate, I think, to the time. Maybe it's not, but it definitely looks better. I think it's more accurate to the time. It may not be, but even if it's not, it definitely looks better in replicated form here. So anyway, so those are some of the 240s that I have. I would like to get rid of all my lowered bases and get all of my, because I have the yellow one and the white one as well, and I would like to get those on the standard base. Also, I would like to get the red 240Z. I never did get that one, and that's the only one that I'm missing, so that is one that I would definitely like to pick up to go with the red Skyline. So the last part of the video here, I did show earlier today from a mail haul this 246 GT Ferrari Dino from Kyosho, and it's an insanely cool little car. I just want to double check, make sure I got that right. 246 GTS. There is a flaw on this car. I'm sure you all noticed it in the last video. I noticed it as I watched that video back. And it's a really rare flaw. It's a really rare imperfection. In fact, I have 50 Kyosho cars, and not a single other car has I don't think any of them have a flaw, let alone a flaw like this. This is like an M2 style of flaw. I was taking pictures for Instagram, and as I was getting ready to post them, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to post these. If you look, it's a split bumper in the rear, and I think it's the one on the left that is not straight. And to the naked eye, you don't see it at all, so I'm not going to even try to pull it out and reset it. I don't have the patience nor the touch to do that kind of thing. And due to the fact that it's invisible to the naked eye, I'm just not going to worry about it. But it is a little bit unfortunate. But I'll tell you what, 49 out of 50, I'll take those odds every day, because with green light, it's like 1 out of 4 has a pretty major flaw. I'd say that's probably the same ratio for M2, maybe even higher. Even with Auto World, I'd say 10% of them are flawed if you count paint flaws. If you don't count paint flaws, Auto World's pretty good. Those are just arbitrary numbers that I'm throwing out based on my observation of collecting. But overall, Kyosho, you're not going to get a lot of flaws with this brand. Now, since I got this today, and I got one yesterday that are both classic European, European vintage, I figured we would take a look at a few of the other European vintage Kyoshos that I have. All of these have been featured on the channel, but you can never see these enough. And honestly, I could pull these out every day and make a video looking at them. That's how much I enjoy them. Now, I know I don't want to be too redundant on the channel, but this is a Lotus Esprit Turbo in silver. I don't know the other colors that this car came out in. I think, I don't know, black and blue and silver maybe? I don't remember. But obviously I like the silver the most. Incredible detail. Just incredible. I had the Johnny Lightning Lotus Esprit, and then when I got this one and I looked at them side by side, I traded that. I either traded it or I sold it in a lot. I just had no desire to own the Johnny Lightning after owning this one. I think actually the Hot Wheels Lotus Esprit is a nicer tooling than the Johnny. And there's a couple that I would say that about. Like the GTR, I think the Hot Wheels GTR is as nice as the Greenlight. The tooling itself, but anyway, so there you go. Lotus Esprit Turbo. Very nice, very highly detailed. Awesome car. This car is actually probably due for some pics. Update on the Toyota Land Cruiser that I got earlier today. I got a buddy. I'm sending it out tomorrow. I sent him some pictures of my car, some pictures of the casting. He said go ahead and send it. He loves stuff like that, and he is the best that I've seen at customs. Not counting like the guys that are nationally known, like KZ and Night Stalker. Outside of those type of customizers, he does the best work, and honestly, I think his work is as good as those guys. It's insanely good quality. So I've had a few of his custom cars in the past, and they are pretty unbelievable. So I'm happy that he's willing to do it for me, and I really look forward to getting it back. Anyways, with all that said, this is a Maserati Ghibli, I think is how it's pronounced. Ghibli. I'm not sure if the G is soft. It's either a Ghibli or a Ghibli. But this is another classic European Kyosho, and the wheels are just fantastic. The casting is fantastic. Prototypical wheels, just like the Dino and the Lotus. And I love Kyosho JDM. I have 50 Kyosho cars, and I would say, well, I have 10 Ferraris. So that's 1/5 of my collection is Ferrari. Of the other 40 cars, I'd say probably 25 to 30 of them are JDM. But I do have some other European cars as well. The European cars do seem to be less expensive to collect than the Japanese cars. That is one thing that I have noticed on eBay. All of these cars that I pulled out for this video are very, very good rollers, except for two. This is one of them that rolls very nicely. The Ferrari Dino rolls very nicely. The Lotus Esprit is an exceptional rolling car. This is one of the two that doesn't roll so well. This is a Alfa Romeo Montreal. It does roll. It is a roller. It's just not a great roller. I love these wheels. These are some of my favorite Kyosho wheels on this car. And I actually like the car a lot, too. I think it's got some interesting lines to it. But I think it's a sharp-looking car. And I think it's the right color, too. I think this came out in red, yellow, and silver, if I'm not mistaken. I wouldn't mind having the silver one, though. But I think in this particular case, I think the yellow would be my first choice. Most of the time, it would be silver. But I also have to try to manage how many silver cars I'm buying, because once I determined that silver was my favorite color for 1/64 scale cars, and I started favoring it, it doesn't take long to start getting too many of them. Here's another recent Kyosho purchase. It's the most recent, well, I guess it's not, because I bought a couple of the Ferraris yesterday, but it's the last eBay purchase I bought before the Dino. And this is a Ferrari 412. This is a late 80s model. So not too vintage, but not really what you would expect for a Ferrari. But I love this car. It just has a really nice, classy GT look to it. Almost like a Jag or something like that. Very cool car here. This one does have lens headlights and taillights. I try not to get red with cars like this because it hides a lot of the taillight detail. But with Ferrari, it's almost hard not to get red. Red Ferraris, if you guys are ever looking at collecting Kyosho, red Ferraris do come at a premium. That's not to say that they're outrageously expensive, but Kyosho cars typically come in 3 colors. And with the Ferraris, almost always one of the 3 colors is red. The red version of the casting will cost more than the other 2 colors. That's just the way it is because of, red is the quintessential color for Ferrari. And collectors, from my experience, want their Ferraris to be red. Personally, I don't care. Some of them I want red, some of them I want other colors. But there are a lot of collectors out there that want all of them to be red. They want their whole collection to be red. This is one that I don't want in red. In fact, I think I have the best color for this one as well. This is a 512 BBI. It's a sexy Ferrari. This, I don't know if I'd say it's the sexiest Ferrari that I have. I have some nice ones, but this one is definitely up there. This color on this car complements the curves probably better than any other diecast car that I have. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but I don't. This color is just so complementary to this casting. This is a great roller too. Look at that front end. Really nice back end detail on this thing too. This is like one of those transition cars from the older, more vintage Ferrari to the more modern stuff. There's a few of them, like the 288 GTO, the 308, the Testarossa, this one. Like that, you know, probably like that 1980s era of Ferrari cars where they were coming out of cars like this one here. But to me, this design here is timeless. I think they could put this car out today and it would look modern and sleek and sporty. I have to say, that car looks so much better in person. I liked the pictures, but it looks so much better in person. In fact, out of all of these, it probably is the biggest difference from the photographs to actually getting it and seeing it. The last one is, well, it's just a 1984 Aston Martin Vantage V8. Another very sexy European car. Love the wheels on this one. It's got a really nice classy look to it. Big. It's a nice long Grand Touring car. Very nice detail. I think Kyosho did a great job representing what this car is. And they usually do. I mean, I've said many times that, you know, not many diecast brands do what Kyosho does. I know that a lot of you have started collecting Kyosho, even if it's intermittently after watching the channel. You buy one here, buy one there, and that's all you got to do. You know, just buy one when you can. Instead of buying a Super, buy one of these. Or buy two of these. You know, a lot of times you'll be able to get 2 or 3 Kyosho for the price of a Super. But if you make it a point to at least buy one a month, it doesn't take long, and then you have a nice little collection of Kyosho. And it's hard to articulate on camera how gratifying it is to collect Kyosho compared to some of the other brands. I mean, here's the thing. If you guys like Auto World because of the detail, but you're sick of the same old castings coming out all the time, Kyosho is the brand to go to. It just is. I'll try to mix this up a little bit here. so just to wrap it up, I am loving this Camaro in silver. I think I've acquired enough silver cars to do another silver car video. I'm loving the Monte Carlo. Those two cars right there will never leave. They'll never leave the collection. The only way they would is if I got another example of the casting that I like better. And that's not likely to happen. With this one, I already have 2 other castings. I like all 3 of them equally. With this one, it's so hard to find, I doubt that another one will show up to me. And it's not a car I'll actively seek out to buy. So they are out there, but unless one lands in my mailbox, I will be keeping that. But anyways, there you go. Aston Martin. Maserati. Alfa Romeo. For this one, I have to change it out so we can get a street level view. Ferrari. Ferrari. And Lotus. My least favorite brand of all of these, but I like the brand enough. I don't know that there are any other Lotus castings that I would be interested in outside of some of the really old open wheel Roadster. I don't know what it's called, but that's one that I would be interested in. But anyways, Kyosho's a great brand, everybody. And there are some really good trusted sellers on eBay. I know you got to go overseas to get this stuff. You can try the Toy Pimp. Sometimes he has a lot of this stuff, but his main focus is JDM. But, you know, just go to eBay. I have found in my searches, I find eBay to be a lot less expensive than Amazon. But you can go to Amazon as well. And I'm sure there are other sources out there. But eBay is a great source because as a buyer, you're always protected. And sometimes with these cars, they ship from overseas. So, you know, if it ever gets lost or anything like that, you're always going to be protected. I had someone earlier today ask me who the best source is for Kyosho. And here's what I do. When I determine that there's a car that I want to get, like this one, I went onto eBay. I knew that I wanted this car, so I went onto eBay. I did a little bit of research, and then I bought it. Same thing with this one. I knew I wanted it, went onto eBay, and bought it. But what I will do, once I realize there's a car that I want, I will go to Japan Booster first. And if I can buy it from Japan Booster, I'll check all the listings. And if his price is in line with all the others, even if it's a couple dollars more, I would rather pay a couple dollars more to get it from him. Just because he has a great reputation. His shipping is the fastest. I've gotten some cars from him in 8 days. This one took 15, I think. Most of them take about between 2 and 3 weeks. He will ship for free if you spend $50. And I've just been the most pleased with his service. But I've never had a bad experience. And I've purchased Kyosho from probably 7 or 8 different sellers on eBay, and I've never had a bad experience. So, you know, just check, see what the cars are selling for to make sure the price is right. Check their feedback, make sure you know who you're dealing with, and then you should be able to buy the car with confidence. But I personally, like I said, I always start with Japan Booster. If he has it, I'll buy it from him. Otherwise, if he doesn't have it, then I'll just find one from a seller that I think that I feel like I can trust. Like I said, I haven't been burned yet, so, and even if you do get burned, you're protected. So there's no reason to worry about who you're going to buy your import diecast from, as long as you're buying it on eBay. Anyways, half hour. We're at a half hour. Thank you everybody again for checking out the video. I wanted to thank Jordan again for that box. I know Jordan was the winner of the last giveaway that I did. What was it? I think it was like the 3,500 or 3,000 subscriber. I don't remember, but he was the winner, and that was very nice of him to send me that box. I can't express how thrilled I am to get that Toyota. I mean, that literally, I'm more excited about that than anything that I've picked up in the last 2 months. The only possible exception to that is the Greenlight Bree Racing 510. I am super stoked to get that Toyota, and I can't wait until Boogie Customs finishes it. So, with that said, you all have a great week. Make it a great week. Have a lot of fun. Get your work done. Take care of those responsibilities. And work hard, play hard. Happy hunting. I'll holler at you all at the next video.